Hello, dear student. Hope you all are well and staying at home. And you know all that in this COVID-19 era, because of your safety, it is not possible to provide you offline classes. That's why ITM-GOI have started online classes so that your safety will never stop. This is Neelam Joshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science, ITM GOI Gwalior. And as this is our first, I am first time taking your class, and I will teach you one of the most important subject of computer science, that is data structure. Okay, and the subject code of this data structure is CS303, and this is one of the most important and core subject of computer science. So what is the meaning of core subject here is that core subject means the foundation of that particular branch, and this subject asked in almost every interviews. So take this subject very seriously and keep this thing in your mind that this is one of the most important subject in all aspects of computer science. Either you are preparing for gate examination, net examination, as well as in any type of technical interview. So as this is my first lecture, and here we will discuss about the overview of this subject. So let's start with the general description. So first of all, this is the outline of my subject, in which we will discuss about some prerequisites of topic, problem objectives, introduction of subject, and also we are covering here all the 5 chapters of this subject. That means what we are learning, and what we will have learn in future. So in today's video I am covering here the introduction part of all the chapter, as data structure and its types, arrays and sorting techniques, stacks and queues, linked list, tree and graphs. And here you can see the outline as assignment on topic. Basically I am mentioning this particular outline here because I am giving you assignment in each and every lecture whenever I am making video for your topics. But in today's lecture, as this is just the introduction part of our subject, I am not here, I am not giving any type of assignment in today's lecture. But in future definitely I will give you some of the assessment on the basis of the topic. Okay, and then we discuss about some learning outcomes, and finally references of the subject of data structure. Okay, now prerequisites of topic. First of all, you should have knowledge about what is the means of prerequisite. Basically, prerequisite means the pre-requirement of topic. That means here you have knowledge about all the aspect which is related with the particular subject. So here we are discussing about data structure. So you should have knowledge about the computer and various parts of the computer, as well as you should have knowledge about memory management and basics of data and information. As you all know that what is computer, that is the electronic device for storing and processing data, and typically this particular processing is done in a binary form. That means computer is just a machine, and machine is always understand whatever written in a machine language, and this machine language is generally known as binary form, and this is known as binary coded language. And according to the given instruction in a variable program, we are just understand the whole working of computer. And whenever we talk about the various parts of computers, so I think you should all know that what are the various types of computer, like keyboard, mouse, printer, plotter, etc. Okay, now moving ahead, memory management. You should have knowledge about memory management, like memory management is the process of controlling and coordinating computer memory, assigning portion calls block to various running programs to optimize overall system performance. And basically memory management resides in hardware and in the operating system and in programs and applications. Okay, and here what is the means of operating system? Basically operating system is just a program which is used to store and control overall activity of any computer system. Okay, now whenever we talk about here data and information, then information is processed and organized data which is presented in a given context, and it is very useful to humans. And data is just an individual unit that contains raw material which does not carry any specific meaning. Okay, and information is a group of data that collectively carry a logical meaning. That's why data doesn't depend on information. So these all particular contents is just the pre-requirement before discussing and learning about the data structure. Now moving ahead, problem objective. Here in problem objective, basically we just discuss the overall intro part of data structure, various types of data structure on which we will have work, and also the main purpose of using and understanding this subject is that why in today's era we are focusing on the overall content to manage the data structure and data and information in a well manner, as well as the problem objective is also here is discussed as the overview of content and syllabus of data structure. Okay, now moving ahead, introduction. What is actually the data structure? In computer science, a data structure is data organization, management, and storage format that enables efficient access and modifications. More precisely, we can say that a data structure is a collection of data values, the relationships among them, and the function or operation that can be applied to data. So, we can say that data structure serves as the basis of abstract data type. And what is the means of here abstract data type? We will discuss in detail in my class that what is actually the abstract data type. Here I am just discussing as ADT defined the logical form of data type, and the data structure implement the physical form of these data types. Okay, and whenever we talk about the different types of data structure, so different kinds of applications is used by these data structures, and some of them are highly specialized to specific tasks. For example, if we are talking about relational databases, then they commonly use some of the specific tree form indexes for data retrieval. And whenever we talk about compiler implementation, then it will usually use hash tables to look up as identifier. So here the means of using these terms is just to show you that why we need different types of data structure, because as we know that each and every application have different functionality of doing work, so we need different type of data structure for better handling and efficiently managing these type of applications. So data structures provides a mean to manage large amount of data efficiently for uses such as large databases and internet indexing services, and it is usually efficient data structures are key to designing efficient algorithm, and some formal designing methods in programming languages emphasis on the working of data structures rather than algorithm as the key organizing factor in software designing. So for this purpose, as we know that each and every application having a specific functionality, so for handling these type of application we need various types of data structures. Now this is our first chapter, which covers the data structure and various types of data structure. In this diagram you can see that the first chapter is basically divided in the portion where we learn about various types of data structures in the form of primitive, non-primitive, etc. And we also discuss about various types of operations which perform by various types of data structure, like here we will learn about traversing, searching, sorting, etc. As well as we will discuss about complexity analysis, in which we just discuss about what best case complexity, worst case complexity, and average case complexity of any type of algorithm. As well as we will discuss about various types of asymptotic notations, and three important asymptotic notations are written here in the form of big O, big omega and theta. So data structures are the means of storing data in very effective manner, and each structure has different way in which data is inserted, deleted or queried. So we can say that data structure is used as a linear or non-linear based on the way their data is accessed. Linear are those in which data is stored in a sequential manner and can be accessed in a sequence too. But in a non-linear case, we are just hold the data together without focusing on its sequence, and data cannot be arranged or accessed in a sequence. So we can say that in this way we are just defining the data structure in various varieties, and also we are using various types of data structure in the form of arrays, stacks. So we will definitely learn in detail all about the data structure. So as this is the first chapter, so this first chapter just show the basics of all the remaining chapters. Okay, now this is the contents of first chapter. As I already discussed that introduction of data, various types of data and data objects, types of data structure, some algorithmic complexity, and the way in which we have learned about the efficiency and searching techniques of various types of algorithm, and some asymptotic notations. This is the second chapter in which we cover in a detail about arrays, various types of sorting techniques. So here we discuss about declaration of array, operations of array. As data structure is just the way in which data is organized and stored in a computer memory. Hence, any variable that is stored a value leverages particular data structure. Primitive data types like integers simply store their values in memories in binary format, and more complex data types like strings usually employs immutable arrays, and each character is serialized into a digit and put it into an array according to its position within the given string. Whenever you need to modify given string by exposed instance method, new string is generated and allocated into memory. Okay. So for this purpose, we are defining the data structure categories, and these categories are very important in programming concept because they provide us with a means to store, organize and retrieve data in an efficient manner, and the data structure are used to make working with our data easier. And there are many data structure, as I mentioned, like primitive and non-primitive form we are using. Whenever we talk about primitive data structure, then this particular data structure are supported at the machine level, and they can be used to make non-primitive data structure, and these are integral and are pure in form, and they have predefined behaviors and specification. Like for example, we can say that integers, float, characters, pointers, these all are the type of primitive data structures, and the pointer, however, don't hold the data values, instead they hold memory addresses of the data values. That's why these also referred as a reference data type. But whenever we talk about non-primitive data structure, then the non-primitive data structures cannot be performed without the primitive data type structure, and they too are provided by the system itself, yet they are derived data structures and cannot be formed without using the primitive data structure. So non-primitive data structure are divided in the category where the most important part of non-primitive data structure is known as arrays. Okay, so in second chapter we will learn in detail about arrays, because arrays are a homogeneous and contiguous collection of same data types, and they have a static memory allocation techniques, which means if memory space is allocated for once, it cannot be changed during runtime. And the arrays are used to implement vectors, matrices and some other types of data structure. So if we do not know the memory to be allocated in advance, then array can lead to wastage of memory, and also insertion and deletions are complex in arrays since elements are stored in consecutive memory allocation. So for this purpose we need to understand that how the array is handled, and how all the data which is stored in the form of array is managed. So for this purpose the second chapter will provide you the detail of declaration of arrays, operations, and here we also discuss about the various types of sorting concepts, in which we just discuss about bubble sort, heap sort, insertion sort, selection sort, merge sort, quick sort, etc. Means various types of sorting techniques are available in second chapter. Okay, and here I want to mention about sorting techniques, that whenever we are using sorting algorithm, then it use to put items in a list into a specific order, such as either in the form of alphabetical or numerical order. For example, if we talk about a list of customer name could be sorted in an alphabetical order by surname, or a list of people could be put into a numerical order by age, then sorting a list of items can take a long time, especially if it is a large list. So a computer program can be created to do this, making sorting a list of data much easier. So for this purpose we needed some sorting technique. So in this chapter we will discuss in detail about all the sorting techniques. Next chapter cover all the aspects of stacks and queues. Here in this diagram you can see that the performance of stacks, that means it is based on the LIFO concept, means last in first out. That means here we are inserting this item 3 in the last, and we are putting out this item 3 in a first. That means last in first out. And queue is based on the concept of first in first out, FIFO. Here item 1 is inserted in this queue in a first available space, and it is also out from this queue in a first order. So we can say that use a queue when we want to get things out in the order that we put them in, and use a stack when we want to get things out in the reverse order that we put them in. So in this way we are just we are just able to understand that how the stacks and queues will basically work. And in this chapter we are covering overall topics related with this tool, like we will discuss about the representation techniques of stacks and queues, and some applications which is related with stacks, and types of stacks. Like here we discuss about some techniques in the form of infix, postfix and prefix notations, as well as we will also discuss about types of queues, where we learn about various types of queues, like linear queue, circular queue, DQ, etc. Okay, now this is our fourth chapter, in which we will discuss about linked list. And here this linked list is just represent the linear data structure where each element is separate object, and each element of a list is comprising of two items in the form of data and reference to the next node, and the last node has a reference to null, because the entry point into a linked list is called the head of the list. And it should be noted that head is not a separate node but the reference to the first node, and if the list is empty then the head is just a null reference. So in this chapter we will deeply learn about some terminology used in the context of linked list, some memory allocation and deallocation techniques about linked list, and various types of linked list like singly, doubly, circular linked list, etc., and some application which is related with linked list like polynomial representation and garbage collection. And this structure represent the whole description of linked list, in which the first portion indicate the data element, and the second portion indicate the next element of linked list. Okay, and the last one, as there is no further data is available, so we are just indicating as null here. Okay, now last chapter is based on tree and graph. Here we will discuss about various types of tree terminologies, some form of trees and the representation of journal trees, and various types of trees, as well as we will discuss about graphs and various types of graphs. Here I want to mention that as I told you that array and linked list is a linear data structure example, but whenever we talk about tree and graph, then this is the example of non-linear data structure. And one reason to use trees might be because we want to store information that naturally form a hierarchy. That means trees always represent a hierarchical form. Here you can see in this diagram that how tree is represented in a hierarchy. That means here A is available in the top, that means this is the root node, and B and C just represent the hierarchy, and this is the child node for A. Similarly, D and E is the child node for B in the same hierarchy, and F and G is the child node for C in the same hierarchy. Okay, and here the second diagram indicating the graph form. This is the example of connected graph, and the graph is represented as a non-linear data structure which consisting of a different types of nodes and edges, and the nodes here are sometimes referred as the vertices, and the edges are just uses as a lines or arcs that connect any two nodes in the graph. Okay. Now learning outcome of this subject. So here student will understand about the basic of data structure and introduction of data structure, and they will understand about the types of data structure and their applications, as well as understanding of basic searching and sorting algorithm, and the overview of whole syllabus, and also appropriate use of particular data structure and algorithm to solve a problem. So student will able to understand these aspects whenever they learn about this subject. Okay, and finally I conclude this subject as the data structure is generally used to perform various types of activity in the form of arrangement of various types of data in computer memory, and in such a way that is stored efficiently in memory. So for this purpose we are using various types of data structure, and as this data structure is a specialized format for organizing and storing data, so here general data types includes in the form of arrays, files, records, tables, etc., and any data structure is designed to organize data to suit a specific purpose so that it can be accessed and work within appropriate ways. Okay, and here I also discuss about the advantage of using data structure, that it allows easier processing of data, it allows information stored on disk very efficiently, and it also allow the necessary of designing various type of efficient algorithm. Okay, and whenever we talk about some disadvantage of using data structure, then it applicable only for advanced user. Okay, and if any issues occur, it can be solved only by expert. So in this way we can describe data structure in a form of purely accessing, managing, storing data in a specific and efficient order. And here are the reference used. Thank you so much to all of you. And we will discuss the first topic of data structure in my next video. Till then, thank you so much again.